welcome back to For the Love of Games, for the love of the 90s. This 12-hour speedrun marathon, we are raising money for Pause Your Game, which is a non-profit, animal welfare-based fundraising platform. So please give generously, and let's move on with another speedrun, shall we? Coming up now, we have got, with Mega Man 6, any percent, it's TempestMask1000, and he's brought along Siberian Bull for commentary. Take it away, gentlemen.
Hello, friends and fellow gamers. My name is TempestMask1000, and it's always nice to be a part of these For the Love of Gaming events, and this time, in collaboration... already off to a good slippery start there. In collaboration with McRayathon, no less. So I'm very happy to have at least had a few 90s games under my repertoire, and, well, it seems Mega Man 6 was selected, interestingly enough, so it's been a while since I have run this game for an event, and we'll see just how well the derusting process goes, or had gone, or whatever the heck, but, yeah, no, we're about to play some good old good old classic Mega Man right here, and so... all I can say is, I'm not alone. I'm joined by a super cool community member and longtime runner of Mega Man 6, Siberian Bull.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Siberian Bull 9. Yeah, Mega Man 6 is kind of my bread and butter, but I'm more known for doing the Power Suit runs, so glad to be here.
Absolutely. Nice to have you along, and thank you for taking your time to join me, too. Alright. With that in mind, we're going to get this thing started, and time will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so I believe you are choosing Windman first, is
yep,
that correct?
As do most.
Not me, as I choose Flame Man. That's actually my any percent personal best time too, so it's not because of Power Suit. So he's going to choose Windman here, and he's going to start off with these little pandas in stage. We're gonna get past them real quick by sliding through. So Mega Man 6 was one of the last few games to come out for the NES. It was like a last hurrah for the NES too, because at that point everyone's moved over to the Super Nintendo. But Nintendo told Capcom, "Hey, one more. Just give us one more," and they said, "Sure." But then, you know what? Mega Man 7 came out, so you know what? Well, it's not a last hurrah.
Yeah. But hey, here we are, and to their credit, 7 is a pretty good game.
Disagree.
Oh, fair enough. Not everyone agrees with that. I almost forgot there.
If only I could get the power adapter much earlier than I really want to, without killing any bosses.
True that. But yeah.
Alright. So, we are going through Windman stage because we are doing what is essentially the preferred any percent route opposed to any others, and we are pretty much at the halfway point of this stage as we get past these pandas and these Stomper in the next room.
So one of the nice things about the Mega Man 6 level layout is that they actually take place within different regions of the world, and the whole idea is that the story takes place where the one Mr. X is... oh, come on, this guy, really? Okay, there we go. Every once in a while, he likes to get me off the ladder. Mr. X is the tournament holder. He's invited all different inventors around the world, but then Mr. X also has the robots start to cause chaos. He's claiming that he's actually the one that manipulated Wily this whole time, and so now we're putting an end to him. Or his plans, rather. Sorry, Mega Man is not that violent.
Except when he needs extreme violence against his robot brothers.
And that was a little unfortunate.
That he's very violent.
I mean, hey, in this case it was kill or be killed. Unfortunate, but true.
I mean, if he, nah, I'm not doing that, bro.
Nah, fair enough. Alright, so here's Windman, though. I'm trying to do a little thing where I'm trying to quicken my charge time by at least a frame for each time I get out of a slide. But unfortunately, like with Mega Man 5, if I do get hit, my charge resets. So I am a little bit in the position of those fan blades, and they actually go a certain distance, if you will, but the general gist is that it's usually easier to dodge when you know where they're flying and all that stuff. That's basically all there is to it. But yeah, Bull, explain how slides are different compared to the previous NES games.
So sliding in this game works this way. In previous Mega Man games, 3 for 4 or 3 for 5. I'm sorry. Pretty much use the same system in the game, but in those games you can actually cancel out your slide by jumping. But in 6, they actually implemented a new system, and so you can't slide cancel. So no jumping out of slides for you. No, bad.
But yeah, now we're moving on to Flame Man's level, and how this... Whoop! Yeah, I was afraid that the bullet was going to knock me in the pit anyway. Oh well. It was like last-minute second judgment thing, whatever. So be it. But yeah, as I was going to say, we were moving into Flame Man stage, because from here on out it's going to be weakness order, and, you know, Flame Man also has the power adapter, as Bull had mentioned, so how that all works is in 6, instead of having Rush Coil, Rush Jet, and the other standard stuff, we actually have 2 different power adapters where Rush turns into armor and becomes Mega Man. Hang on a second. Okay, I just wanted to take care of Roland there. I didn't want to have him snipe me. That second little shooter there was a guy that we like to call Roland, because if you try to jump over him, he can potentially snipe you, and then he's a scumbag for it.
I have no problem with him.
I mean,
I jump over him all the time.
Exactly, no, because that's the thing. He can be just a chill guy, but if he says no, then he'll certainly make it clear to you.
Usually he's not my problem. It's the flame enemies in the next section coming up.
Oh yeah,
when
absolutely.
I'm really on a roll.
And yeah, in case you didn't notice, the oil pits can light on fire from fire attacks, and while it normally slows me down in its oil state, the fire becomes instant kill. And so, yeah, not fun.
The other thing is those oil pits actually have an interesting property as they carry over into the next section. So if we didn't get that oil field caught on fire, that pit right there would not be on fire.
That was a little bit of a slip there. And that was a game over. Unfortunate, but hey, it's only early in the game. It's not that big a deal. I did accidentally stage select though, so that was a bit of a goober moment on my part. My bad. Alright, but yeah. So, general gist, oil pits, they slow you down on normally, and, you know, Flame Man is also one of those stages where, even if you know the inner workings, it's hard, if not practically legendary, just to get it perfectly. So, in other words, I guess you could say Flame Perfect is a myth. I don't know. It also kind of doubles as a pun, so I kind of had to say that by principle. Alright, no sniping, let's go. But yeah, aside from that, Flame Man is... like, I would have at least gotten to him by now, but I'll just explain the fight before we get to him. So, he likes to jump over you and then shoot the fire waves, while also doing this little ground fire wave attack. But with the Windstorm, I just gotta shoot the thing at him. The Windstorm is actually a very unique weapon in that it shoots those tornadoes, and then when it defeats an enemy, instead of having them explode, they just fly straight up through the ceiling like a cartoon character. It's kind of funny. And so, as per usual with Mega Man games, excuse me, my ammo will replenish with every stage I complete until I get to the Wily stages, so... Oh, sorry, did I say Wily? I meant to say X.
Spoilers.
No, wait, we haven't seen Wily yet. It's not a spoiler if I just correct myself, is it?
Oh.
Nah, I don't know. But let's switch on to the Windstorm and get ourselves ready for the fight. So, here we go. I gotta say, I love this boss music.
Yes. So, like he's saying here, the Windstorm here is going to go right through the flame walls here that Flame Man puts up. Generally, for me, as a Flame First Runner, what I tend to do is with the Buster is I aim for his head. So then, as the pillars are going down, it times it so then it hits him right in the head. But there we go, Flame Man down. The other thing about the weapons in this game, generally, they all require 6 shots for the robot masters to take down.
Which is going to be interesting when we get to Tomahawk Man, because that particular weapon has a bit of a high ammo consumption, almost exact, if you will. No, actually, it is exact. What am I saying?
Yeah, there's a few that has exact that, C-Flash, there's the main 2. Those Blizzard.
Actually, it's kind of funny, considering if it takes 6 shots to defeat them, and this game is Mega Man 6, so there you go. Hey!
Alright, so off to Canada Man stage. I mean, Blizzard Man stage.
I didn't even think about that one, actually.
Yeah, you didn't think about that?
Nope.
Why well, we're in a few seconds here. When we get there, we're gonna come up to the curling puck. So if that wasn't a clue, I don't know what is.
Shout out to all our friends in Canada, though. I'm gonna get the E-Tank for safety because, of course, I just usually like to, and also having Flame Man's weapon is very, very much a nice tool to have in general, because not only does it have a really nice ammo count, but it's just also the versatility of it will also see me use it quite a bit in some of the other stages as well. So yeah, definitely get used to seeing some orange Mega Man.
Yeah, actually, the Flame Man's weapon actually has the same strength as a full charge power shot. So
Oh, nice.
So so to measure it in a sense, flame shots requires I'll spoil this. Plant Man stage has a enemy that's a gorilla tank. It takes 6 shots to kill it with the flame weapon. It takes 6 full power charge shots to kill it.
Alright. So, there could be a trick that I would have liked to do, but I don't know, I just wasn't feeling in the mood after having lost a bit of time to the Flame Man stage, so it is what it is. But there's a little trick called Bomb Clip, which we'll explain in a bit. For now, the Blizzard Man fight is coming up, and he likes to do rolls. I want to see as little to none as possible, but as I say it, the game knows. So, oh well.
Yeah, I'm used to see those.
There's a little trick, too, where if you get the submarine section fast enough, we like to call that butter, but the irony is we don't like butter on our rolls, so there you go. But yeah, there was also a little trick that I could have done before the gate called Bomb Clip, which, that's a very hard one to maneuver. You could do it, you could execute it right, but you could still get it wrong. The idea is that there's a precise enough pixel, if I'm not mistaken, that by sliding under the bombs, you could potentially get it and just avoid them in general, but again, not the easiest to land, and after having lost a bit of time to the previous stage, as in before Blizzard Man, I just figured I'll save it for another time.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, moving on to Plant Man. This stage can be a bit of a casual gatekeeper. It's mostly due to the stuff that's at the end of this level, which, starting off, it certainly was very much a gatekeeper to me. We'll talk about those buggers, though, once we get there. For now, it's not all that necessary. For the time being, though, it's as Bull had alluded to, we do have some gorillas coming up, and I did want to just see if Eddie would give me something nice, but nope. We usually ignore Eddie.
As usual, it's the Great Eddie Betrayal of 2022.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, so 6 shots from the flame, down goes the tank.
And if I hold the jump button while I'm on those springs, my jump does get higher, but I do want to be careful with this section because, of course, there's some spikes at the top, and, yeah, a little bit of sprite lag. Of course, trying to manage the enemies on your screen is, as per usual, a bit of a necessity, but dang, those grasshoppers do not want to get burned. I mean, I don't blame them, but come on. I'm trying to go fast here. Alright, there we go. There we go, too. Looking a little low on health, but that's what I got the tank for. Although,
fortunately, you're in the section where you're going to get a bunch of small hills anyway.
Yeah, true too. But those piranhas are just the worst, and yeah, they're the aforementioned gatekeepers of this stage. So hang on a second. There we go. Oh, not quite. So what I was doing there was those plant platforms, you do have the ability to jump on those, but you only have up to 6 frames to do so. So you gotta time your jumps just right, otherwise you will fall down like I did. I thought it was worth a shot, because, you know, just one of those cool things to show off, but otherwise you normally have to shoot them open. No big deal. I'm looking a little on Flame Blast, but that's okay. It's just one gorilla at this point, so...
You did have a chance to get some.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I don't know. I just didn't feel like putting on the POW suit yet.
How dare you?
I'm not trying to offend you. I promise.
I'm out of here, folks.
Oh, well, great. I guess I got to solo commentate for the rest of the run. Anyway, now for real though. So, let's see here. I think this would actually be a good time to make some announcements or donations if we have any.
You'll think. It's a good opportunity to remind everyone of the charity that we're supporting with this event. Pause Your Game. It's a non-profit animal welfare-based fundraising platform whose mission is to connect gamers to the animal rescue world through their programs of advocacy and advocacy campaigns, and as well as to support rescues throughout the United States with financial assistance for medical, behavioural, and sheltering needs. So they are a fantastic charity, so please keep your donations coming. We will make sure that all of your donations are read out on stream, whether it's by me or one of our other lovely hosts later on. But yeah, I'm going to hand it back to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nick.
So here's Plant Man. So we got to wait for Plant Man to put down his shield, so then we can fire the blizzards into him. But you also can essentially manipulate him where he drops his shield and you can just fire away. And it looks like we're being careless with our blizzard shots here.
I was trying to have it where essentially you could get it inside the hitbox when you take a hit, you just like very close to the hitbox, and I did technically get it there. I got a good few first 3 shots, but then the rest just kind of fell apart. But one of the nice things about that weapon is even when there's like one bar of blizzard shot left, you're still able to get that last shot in as though you had more than enough ammo to do a full shot. So that's one of the nice things about the game, of course. Alright, moving on over to Tomahawk Man. So this is actually one of the first stages in this game where all the stuff within the mid-right to the bottom layers of the stage select all contain robots that have alternate paths. The alternate paths work where you don't have to do them, but by going through there you actually gain a beat letter, which spells the word, beat, and then allows you to get the bird of the same name. Beat in this game may not be as powerful as he was in 5, but he essentially serves the same purpose, so... You know, that's what we usually consider for 100% runs, but this stage also has a hidden collectible that actually carries over from the Game Boy lineup of Mega Man games, if you're familiar. Specifically, starting with Mega Man 4 for Game Boy, there was a part called the Energy Converter, or Balancer. I think it was Balancer. But the idea is, whenever you collect weapon energy, if you are already on a weapon, or if you are on your base form, and one weapon does not have full ammo, then the next weapon item you collect will transfer that straight to the weapon that needs it more, which is really convenient, and a nice little addition there. But because this is any percent run, you don't really have to get it, and so I won't. I mean, I did start off where it used to be that, because, you know, it just felt like a nice thing to do. Plus, we also get to say hi to Big Brother Proto Man, who, that's his only appearance in this game, but, you know, just a tidbit to mention. And, I mean, hey, the nice thing, too, is that it is an excuse to throw on the POW suit, because as you can see right there, to my left is that cracked block, and that's the room where Proto Man is. So, the POW suit works where Mega Man has a small gauge that shows how much charge he has to do this powered-up punch. Whenever he has any of the suits on, though, he does lose his ability to slide, so technically you're going to have to walk the way through. But the POW suit works where your buster instead turns into punches, and a charged punch can slam back an enemy, which is really nice. Unfortunately, I did waste a plant barrier there, so I'm going to have to be a bit careful, and probably use my E-Tank as well, because I do not want to die. But yeah, we'll talk about Tomahawk Man, sorry, I almost said plant.
I mean, so Tomahawk Man is a bit of a chaotic robot master. But yeah, he did use up one of his pet bears. He's gonna use Buster or Pow to finish this. It's fine. You're fine. You got this. I believe in you.
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty decent fight, all things considered. It was just a matter of how to finish it up. So you know, it is what it is. Other than that, though, it's so far 5 Robot Masters, and we'll be heading into Yamato Man, which technically his name is also Japan Man, but that was in the Mega Man Battle Network game, so, you know, I grew up with Battle Network 3, and I always like to make that little reference in my splits just because I will admit I was a Battle Network fan first. I grew up with the TV show after all, so I could have never known about Classic Mega until that one fateful Christmas tree decorating party. I'm actually gonna, you know what, let's don the POW suit. I'm feeling the alternate route like old times. So as you can see right there, I'm using that charged up punch to break the blocks right like so. And then, yep, after that, I'm just gonna switch to Flame Blast because this is alternate route. While it might be potentially slower for that very reason, it at least gets to show off this cool little mini boss right there.
You're doing it for the E-Tank, aren't you?
I'm also doing it for the E-Tank. What can I say? I like safety.
I don't blame you. I mean, you also had a chance to get an E-Tank in Tomahawk Man stage.
Exactly. But I decided not to go for it.
I don't know why, it's right at the beginning.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair enough. That's just me. Oh well. Anyway, so I'm actually gonna switch over to the jet suit now, and as you're about to see, instead of having a charge shot, I can fly. It's a nice little thing too, but the thing about what makes it so different from Rush Coil is that the flight is, it kind of sort of starts with a swoop arc, if you will, so it's not immediately going to send you up high, and that's something you can consider when you are making your jumps and all that. But other than that, you know, simple stuff, really. And now we are moving on to the Yamato Man fight, so...
Alright, so we haven't talked about it yet, though, but with Robot Masters in this game, they actually have this, what I call this 1-2 type of property. So if they do one attack twice, they have to do a different attack afterwards, and Yamato Man is a great example of that. So if he jumps and fires his spear in the air twice, he actually has to be on the ground and fire his spear down there.
Alright. I definitely felt the need to pop that tank because I knew I was just gonna die there. That's the thing about me, I'm a bit, I guess you could say, prone to crashing, if you will. And not the game crashing, I'm talking about, like, just crashing into things, so, you know. It is what it is. But yeah. So now we're moving on to Nightman. And actually, one of the nice things about these bottom 4 stages is that I think this applies to all 4 of them. I know this is definite for Nightman, but, like, if you were to revisit them, and, like, for any reason in particular, you'll actually see an alternative color palette for said level, which, you know, in the case of Nightman, we refer to as, Orange Night? Night Orange? Something along those lines, but yeah. And now we got some spiked ceilings that will try to close medieval style on me, and I just ran into one. Well, you know what? At least it's close enough to the beginning of the level that it doesn't hurt all that much. It just hurts my pride a little, but you know, I'm not a prideful guy. I'll turn on the power suit though, just to get that extra life to make up for that. No big deal. There we go. Alright, so, in the meantime, I suppose it's well worth mentioning that at this point, actually I'm going to let this one drop now. It is technically possible to clear that within like a full cycle and stuff, but hang on, I'm just going to complete this slide there, and yeah, that's more like it. And oh, what? How did I hit? I didn't think I was, well, I guess I just hit that then. Oh well. I must have bungled my jump there.
Yeah,
Shit.
you just jumped a little short.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh, hey, let me go. Wow, this run, the game knows today. Shout out to my good pal LZ Cards Fan 23, by the way, for that phrase. It's a very, very apt one when you know things are going weirdly with your gameplay and all that jazz. Alright, come on. There we go. Up the ladder. Through and through. We got these little conveyor wheel-like things, which, of course, walking the opposite direction will try to throw a little resistance in. I'm gonna throw on the jet suit just to clear this fast. And then I can also fly off the ladder like so. You did notice just there, though, that I didn't quite clear the ladder because the jet suit does have a sort of altitude cap, if you will, where once you... What the heck happened there?
You died.
Yeah, I totally died and game overed. I will say I was getting a little nervous with my low health.
You got too impatient there, is what happened.
Yeah, if it wasn't obvious with those enemies, they do pop their heads out usually when you hit them. Like, you either by touching them or hitting them with the buster. So, something to keep in mind with those fellas. And the weak point is the head, too. We try to go over them because, well, trying to hit them in the first place, trying to get their heads out, that's just slow. Alright, I'm gonna let this happen once again. Alright. Not too shabby, if I do say so. There we go. And yeah. Whew. Now, I do believe this came out around, what, 94, was it? Yeah, 93. Yeah. I am running on the US version, where it's not necessarily going to make that big a difference, but one of the reasons I do like to use the US version is a particular typo that we all love to bring up once we defeat Mr. X. So, hope you all will be ready for that one. Otherwise... Oh, hey, menuing! Does that usually happen? For the life of me, I can't remember the whole up and down direction locking up when you're trying to go past from the suit to the E-tank like that. I don't know, that's never really happened before, I guess. Okay, I got an energy there. Not necessarily necessary, but, you know. At least it puts my flame up top. And hey, it's Papatot. Papatot one's a fellow runner of this game, and his icon is one of these mad nerds, as they're called, where you have to shoot them twice in order to get rid of them, because the first time we'll get rid of their cap, and they get really angry because of that. So, hence the name Mad Nerd. Oh boy, come on. That's a little more like it. Alright, we're just about reaching the end of the stage. The alternate path for the beat letter is down there, but since the boss gate is just straight up there, obviously not necessary in the slightest. And so, as you might have guessed, the weakness for Yamato Man would be... Or, sorry, Nightman would be Yamato Man. What is with me today?
Alright, well, fortunately for you, Yamato's spirit does not care that Nightman has a shield. Otherwise, those get reflected, and boom, down he goes.
Indeed, indeed. Very simple boss to take care of. The Night Crusher does have that little arcing motion, which will also apply to the weapon that we're about to get. But, generally speaking, Nightman is one of the easier bosses to handle. It is nice to not see him jump, but, you know, you expect him to jump. That, I guess, Jumpless Knight is rare, but I'm pretty sure I've had that at least once or twice in a run before. Alright, we got one more Robot Master down to take care of, and this fella is a little unique because his name is Centaur Man. And, just like the Greek myth, he is half man, half horse. We'll talk about
half robot.
That's... Wouldn't that just make him 3/4 of each?
Like a Doberman watchdog. He's 50% of everything.
What? I thought I timed that jelly right.
Well, you know what they say about insanity.
Okay, here we go. Nice. These pelicans will drop some fish that will just flop around and stuff and then eventually explode. I do believe they work a little differently when in the water. Either that or they just still die regardless. I mean, they just came out of a pelican's mouth. They must have been what's the phrase? Asphyxiated for long enough? I don't know.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why that pelican's spitting out food.
Yeah, that's a good question. That pelican sure does not have good table manners. I'd certainly not like to go out to dinner with that fella.
Well, I'd rather it be dinner.
I guess. I guess that's fair.
I mean, we are playing a game that's supposed to be worldly. I don't see why we can't just eat pelican.
Is there any now that you mention it, there's got to be some place in the world that has birds as some kind of a dish, even though the whole idea sounds very unorthodox. To me, anyway. Well, either way... Oh, wait, hang on. Eddie dropping me a life? Of course I gotta take that after the first 2 jellyfish mishaps. We're halfway through the stage, though, and this is also one of those cases where the extra exit or extra boss door is pretty much not that, like, it's a huge difference. One is closer than the other, but this time, technically, if you want to be a bit faster, then you would want to take the top route, because it saves you a screen transition as compared to the bottom route. But, of course, in order to get there, there's a huge gap, and so you're going to need Rush Jet in order to have that happen. Just like that, we're across. But coming up is Centaur Man, Centaur Man, Centaur Man, Centaur Man. Shout out to Mr. Cab.
You better not teleport, otherwise I'm gonna be mad.
I'm gonna be mad too if he teleports. Oh, he teleported! We're mad now.
Just don't get flashed.
Yeah, that's never fun. So, similar to Flashman or Brightman, Centaur Man has the ability to stop time with his Centaur Flash, and so you want to stay away from that at all costs. Other than that, he never jumps. It's just the way he's designed that because he's on 4 legs, he's going to stay to the ground no matter what, so you can at least, you know, expect that much from him. But yeah, teleporting, never fun, makes him invulnerable and stuff, and it wastes a little bit of time.
You did the thing.
I did do the thing, except it wasn't from him.
No. I mean, you did 8 robos. We're now on the castle stages.
Oh,
Congrats.
true. Yay!
So yeah, we're into Mr. X's castle now, and we're gonna hear some banger stage music now.
Absolutely. Yeah, the late game music is really fun. The thing about this is that, like with previous games within the 4 to 6 lineup, this one will also have a second castle, and so how they fit the two together is they have 2 different themes per castle, so don't expect it to change up until this stage and then 3 from now. But other than that, yeah, that particular section does require you to use your jet adapter. And then coming up, I'm going to switch the power adapter to try and get a little shortcut. I'm going to try and play it safe, of course, but there we go. Nicely done. First try. So how that works is by breaking that glass, you've just accessed yourself a nice little safe haven that I'm going to keep the power suit because I'm going to need it again at the end anyway.
Yep.
How it works, though, is you get rewarded with all of these nice little items, especially these 4 lives right at the end here, which is very generous. Thank you for that, Capcom. And then, just like
You're
that,
welcome.
we're at the boss. So, we got the rounder fight coming up. There's going to be 2 of these things. Each of them share half the health bar. And they're technically weak to the Flame Man's weapon, but I got to hit them from the side. And because the flame weapon arcs, yeah, it can be a little hard to hit sometimes. But that's 1 down. And then after enough time, they reverse course. And then just like that, that's the boss fight. Not too bad.
This is technically Rounder 2. Rounder 1 is actually in Mega Man 5. It's actually the big head enemy in Wily 3. Number 1. Number 2, I like to look at that boss as the Batman boss from the game, from Batman the Game.
Heck yeah. And speaking of Batman, I do want to give a little late shout out to the late but great Kevin Conroy, who sadly recently passed away, but was a very powerful voice for the Caped Crusader. Thank you for your work, sir.
I mean, he was powerful for us who lived through the 90s.
Absolutely.
There's your love for the 90s, folks. We're out of here. Don't need to see the rest of the game.
Fair enough. There has to be some sort of animated series Batman game out there for me to try, though.
What was it? Marcusson Zoo, something like that? It was a PS2 game.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. But yeah, overall, we are well within X2. Gosh, I'm so used to playing other Mega Man games that we're all used to...
Well, even then you wouldn't get to that part yet. You're not even at that part.
Yeah, no, I know. We're all used to saying Dr. Wily. He's not in this game, though. What am I thinking?
No, he's not in this game at all. I haven't seen him. Have you?
No. Alright, so now we're moving on to the Power Piston fight. This guy sticks to the wall, so Silver Tomahawk is going to be the key here. Going to be a little bit careful. I can technically... Sorry.
Consume.
Alright. There we go. I was...
You scared me there. I want you to know you scared the crap out of me there.
I was like, why are you saying consume? I wasn't going to use my E-Tank. I was going to give it a try.
I tried to influence you, but oh well. Looks like I failed.
Fair enough.
Don't take drugs from me, kids.
Oh, yeah, no. But, here we go. Inside, a little extra life, because why the heck not? I really didn't need it, but, you know, we already had those extras from, Heckin' earlier and stuff like that. But the thing with me in these later stages is that you can easily get bungled into the pits. There are some real nasty, jump sections sometimes, and those cowboy robots from Tomahawk Man's level, yeah, they're back. But other than that, we also got these little seesaw things right here, which standing on one obviously pushes it down and then moves the other. Having Rush Jet is a safe bet to have overall. I mean, really, no reason not to. Especially with those Flame Man enemies, because I swear I totally forgot about the intended movement for that portion. Well, let's get out of that and into the Flame Blast. So, because we're in the X stages, how this works is any ammo that I use will carry over to the next stage as it was before. So no more between stage refills. The whole idea is I gotta play it carefully as possible, but of course with some recovery items within certain portions of these stages. That is something I can also keep in mind, so, you know, not necessarily the end of the world if something runs completely out and stuff, but at this point, because of the amount of lives that I collected within the shortcut for X1, then... Oh, hang on. Yeah. I shall now consume. I do not trust Matangra Z. So, anyway, as I was going... Oh, wait, no, I didn't have to consume. Ah, dang it. Hindsight. And it didn't matter anyway.
Alright, real quick, stop. Just go bottom route, use your power suit, destroy those 3 blocks, you'll get your E-Tank back.
Good idea. I like that. Thanks, Bull. Of course, because I can't slide, well, you know, it's gonna be a little slower, but hey, safety is safety. You can't go wrong with safety in a marathon run.
You're welcome.
Alright, moving up. Gotta do one more punch. Ends it with a little bit of health pellets right there. Nicely done. And let's go ahead and open up the floor to some more announcements, or actually, how are we looking on, oh, what the heck just happened there?
You didn't pay attention.
Hindsight 2022, I guess.
Hey, that's this year.
I mean, yeah, no, makes sense, doesn't it? But yeah, Nick, do we have any incentives or any goals to plug at the moment?
That is a very good question. a question that I will find out the answer to at some point.
Fair enough.
In the meantime, I can tell you about some of the other runs that we have got coming up. Coming up after Tempest Mask, we have Supersonic jumping in with Sonic the Hedgehog, and then he's sticking around for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Then we've got Spectral jumping in with Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, and then Sonic Schoolhouse. So it's kind of a Sonic block coming up next. And then we'll be finishing off with a Final Fantasy Legend 2 and Mario Kart 64. So there is still plenty to keep your eyes glued to. And I'm going to scurry away and find out about those incentives.
Sounds good to me, my dude. Thank you very much. Unfortunate death right there. Yeah, I'm really having a hard time with the rust shoot. I guess the de-rusting wasn't the most effective in that department, but you know what? So be it. Thing is, with the knockback in this game, yeah, it's an NES game. Knockback is very much going to be a thing, and you know what? That's just how it is sometimes. But now... Actually, you know what? No. Oh, I can't do it while I'm in a slide. Aw, man, I was hoping to do the POW suit. Oh, we'll stick to Blizzard, though. I already wasted a little bit of time in the menu, so it is what it is. Here's Matangrasi. He's just a Met piloting a mech suit. Unfortunately, they didn't have the foresight to program him to punch. He just shoots those arc shots. But, you know what? He's a cool guy. I like him.
Considering what he's supposed to be based off of, you know, he should have a robot punch.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's finish him with one. There you go. That's a bit more like it. But we'll see some more punching very soon. In the meantime, we're going to be jumping on to X4, which will be our big showdown with Mr. X himself. So, this level obviously has some platforming to do because, like with prior games, you know, they wanted to make sure you were still sort of engaged with the standard Mega Man affair and all that jazz, but it's funny to think about how games like 3 and 2 had it where you just go straight into the boss fight and stuff. Then again, I guess so did 5, technically, and others. You know what? Maybe it's not as foreign a concept as I thought. But, anyhow, moving forward, I got some sliding to do, so obviously I gotta take the jet suit off. I would get that E-Tank, but you know what? That requires a little bit of time. And as much as I don't mind putting on the POW suit to show that you can actually push these blocks, I think we gotta just move on. These bird guys, though, they spawn from those tubes, and yeah, they can be kind of annoying. They try to follow the direction that, or the position that you are in by the time they start flying. That's just their basic programming and all that stuff. But not much else to say there, really. So instead, we're back to the Tomahawk Man enemies, which I think I might have accidentally mentioned they were in the last stage, but nope, here they are now. They were actually here this whole time, waiting.
I consider this the worst room in the game, and well,
I tried. I wanted to attempt a damage boost, but you know what? Guess not. But yeah, I would honestly agree with that. It is kind of a bad room altogether. Like, just trying to get past these buccos, you know, not the most fun thing around. I'll tell you that. Mr. X was not pulling his punches, though. We can say that for sure.
He doesn't even program punches.
True. I'll get this tank, though, because, of course, it's on the way. It's so weird, though. Why do they, like, have the push block there? I guess they want to make you assume that you have to push it in order to make your way through, but that's obviously not the case, as I just demonstrated there. Okay, this is gonna be a little precarious, but I'm not gonna jet. Ooh! Just when I thought I had a couple more iframes, too, but hey, good news. That's why we had all those extra lives. So, I'm far from gaming over at this rate, but I still want to play it a little carefully. Sorry about the, just want to quickly apologize for these, mistakes, by the way. It's not usually like me to do that, I just, you know, again, it has been a while, and I did try my best to prepare for this, but You know, having played a few other games in recent, that can happen with you sometimes. Still, all is a-okay. We're still on track to finish this at a fairly quick enough pace for what it is and what it is worth. Not to mention that we did manage to start ahead of schedule, so, you know, that's nice too, I suppose. Alright, jet this time. I'm not taking my chances. Alright, in we go. Coming up to Mr. X. Bull, if you would have the honors.
Okay, actually, I was wondering if you were going to use Flame or Pal, but it looks like you're going to use Pal. So we're going to bat this ball like a cat, if you do it right.
Consuming. It's why I got one of the tanks. It is possible to avoid touching the spikes, but hey, you know how it is. Alright, coming up is the typo. Here we go.
Alright, folks, we're actually done here. You know, we don't have to stick around anymore because he's failed.
Failedy!
You know what? GG's, everyone. Game's over, and oh my
god!
Oh,
no! Oh, this can't be! Wily was his own boss? No way!
Split personality, man.
Oh, if only it were that simple. No, it was Wily this whole time, and he wanted us to... He kind of played us like a fiddle, even though it should have been obvious. I mean, the guy's... Let's be fair. Shades are cool and all, but that hair... It's almost a dead giveaway. Anyhow, we're moving on to the Wily stages now. Gonna get that little extra life there just for the heck of it. But there's also a good reason to have the POW suit for this particular stage. There is a alternative route that you can take, which also benefits from having the jet suit as well. So, you know, a little less time sliding, but for the benefits, totally worth it. Okay, here we go. I think that should do it. Yeah, just made it. Let's go.
Good job.
Alright, so now I gotta break the POW block open, and we get a bunch of nice little items on the other side. But I'm also gonna need to keep this on for that simple reason as well. Okay, missed the E-tank. No problem, though. Just getting a little bit of health is fine enough. Did miss those weapon ammos, though. Falling can be weird. Those Tomahawk enemies, though, they do like to show up. Yes, they do indeed.
You mean Yamato?
Sorry, you're Yamato. I'm getting my locations mixed up. But yeah, we are coming up to the first boss of the Wily Castle, and this guy, I like to call him Mechasaurus Zord, because he looks a lot like the Brachiozord from Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and yet the funny thing about that is this game clearly came out before that show and its Super Sentai counterpart, so funny how that works. But yeah, this guy has the hitbox at the eyes. Technically, you can use the POW suit to launch the platforms it's sending at you back to it, which is a fun way of damaging the thing, but it only deals a point of damage, so the Yamato Spear is much more effective to dispatch this guy. Come on.
Well, since we're doing a marathon about the 90s, and I must introduce you to Titanus.
Oh, that's true. Titanus did come beforehand. I call upon the power of Titanus! Ultra Zord, combine! Something like that, yeah. Good old Power Rangers. I'm actually planning on going to Anime NYC, and I know Johnny Young Bosch is going to be there, so looking forward to seeing him again. But yeah. Bam, there we go. That's a bit more like it. Okay, so now that he's down, we're moving on over to the second Wily stage, and this is actually going to be the last time that we have a proper boss. Because from here on out...
I don't even count him as a boss.
Yeah, you know what? That's totally fair. This next quote-unquote boss is going to be kind of weird. I'll get the E-Tank for safety, though. Just a little more POW suit. Just the way Bull likes it, you know? But, yeah. I definitely got to make it a point to try POW % and Jet % at one point. I think I owe it to myself.
Good luck.
Thanks. So here we got the one and only section with Yoku blocks here. And similar to Mega Man 5, it's a wall. So we just go on top of them, equip Flame Man's weapon, melt this ice, and that's it. No more Yoku blocks. Funny how that's a thing. Like, it almost feels like they just thought to themselves, okay, let's just throw this in for the heck of it. It's tradition at this point. We gotta. But I don't know.
But they also gave you the split pass, so it was more of an option.
True. And now we got more Mad Nerds. So, hi, Papa. Hey, Papa. I'm gonna get that health, but I gotta be a little careful because, as you can see, we got a spike ceiling up there. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Proceeding onward. I don't know why I'm singing.
You gotta entertain the 40 people here who
True
showed
that.
out for this event.
Yeah, like I said, I always enjoy getting to do For the Love of Gaming stuff, and it's always nice to be able to show my love of gaming through them. And that was the Tank CS2 fight. That's pretty much it. Makes you think, Solid Snake surely had it a little bit tougher now, but it was all the more legendary for it. Okay, stage 3. This is where we have the boss refights. We gotta do a little bit of swimming though, and if it wasn't obvious, water physics do make my jumps go higher. We also got a bunch of spikes, so you know, we don't like that. I'm gonna refill Yamato's spear for that. And get the safety as well. Because they do throw in a couple of generous items. The wind fans, though, if it wasn't obvious, they just pull you in and then they spin around and stuff. They're mostly annoying, just there, pretty much.
You need some blizzard.
Good call there. A little bit more health, too.
Careful, I think it's about to stop.
Yep. Good.
Alright, get out of there.
Heck yeah. No more swimming for me! Yay! Yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna work.
I was like, just don't game over.
Yeah, no, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I think it's all good from here on out. But we'll have to see.
I have my doubts. That's the wrong one.
True. That's okay. I'll, well, at the very least, we get to, try and see if he doesn't teleport again.
So far, so good. Hurry up, one more.
Yeah!
No teleports. Get out of here.
No, sir, not today. Alright, so we're back to Windman, and if it wasn't a given by now, his weakness is Centaur Man. So the fight goes a little something like this.
You know, for the longest time, when I was a child, I always thought Windman was supposed to be from Holland, and then I realized as an adult, oh wait, pandas are in Holland.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny though. Like,
because I associated windmills with wind.
I mean,
silly kid.
I'll be fair in saying I wouldn't have guessed. Like, I wouldn't have even had the foresight to take a guess as a kid, but you know, that's that. But yeah, Plant Man down. I managed to make up for the fact that I ran out of ammo the last time. Good stuff. Back to Flame Man. More windstorm. Let's blow this guy away, shall we? Oh, come on. Come on, buddy, thank you. By the way, if there... Bull did mention the Flame First route, but there is actually one other route that even the practice hack can sort of situate yourself for, and that being Night First. Not something I've done before. In fact, I've always done Wind as far as I've, like, run this game, but I guess it'd be worth trying for the heck of it.
I think there's only one runner. There's only one runner I know that does that, and that's PJ.
That sounds about PJ, indeed. Shout out to PJ. Alright, back to Nightman. I'd say for the rest of this, though, because there's not really all that much different. Yeah, let's throw it on back to Nick if you got anything to say, my dude.
Absolutely, yes. Again, please keep your donations coming in to the event. We're going to talk a little bit more about Pause Your Game and the reason why they are a charity in the first place. Did you know that animals need our help? The majority of animal shelters, rescues, and welfare programs are unaware of the impact that the streaming and gaming communities can make. For example, roughly 6.5 million animals enter shelters each year. Of those, approximately 1.5 million are euthanized early. If just 5% of the 165 million gamers just in the United States committed to fostering, volunteering, or donating, then unnecessary euthanasia could be ended by the next day. That's why we are fundraising for Pause Your Game with this event. So please, if you like animals, if you're a Metroid fan and you like to save the animals, then get your donations in, because we're going to save a bunch of animals with the money we raise today.
Heck yeah. Thank you very much.
By the way, did I teach you? Did you learn that from me, or did you discover that yourself?
What do you mean?
What you did to Plan Man?
I wouldn't necessarily say I totally improv, if anything. But yeah, a death on Yamato, man, not the worst thing. I got a couple more lives. I just figured, you know what? Fair enough. I will have to try and keep some silver tomahawk ammo, though, which, of course, I won't have enough by the end of this fight, but I'll try to replenish it within the last stage, because there are opportunities. Let's just put this fella to bed. Come on. Oh, that's just... Okay, no, normal buster. What? How do I'm just gonna shut up for a bit. This is almost like a bad omen in a way. Oh well. Probably going a little overestimate at this rate too. Sorry about that, y'all. Are you kidding me? Oh, that stinks. Alright. Probably have a bit more time to try this again. A little ashamed of that one, but you know what? So be it. Should've used my E-Tank. Oh, geez, I just realized how much I had in stock. Ouch.
I had to stop my. I have a bad habit of backseat gaming, so I just had to stop myself.
Hey, man. Honestly, I just consider it help at this point, because, you know, sometimes I do have a tendency to make some unfortunate decisions, and that was just one of them.
You made two of them, really.
Fair enough. Well, surely enough, this won't be one of those bad decisions.
It already is.
Man, this run is just evolving into survive %. Well, at least I had some gold splits around, so I can't say it's been totally the worst. But yeah, back to Windman. So just gonna do some more flashing here. Do apologize if we do have some folks that are a little sensitive. Luckily, these are some very brief flashes, but other than that, that should be done. Back to a good friend Tomahawk Man. You know what? Here's a good question. Why Plant Barrier? Why do you think they chose that as his weakness? Actually, you know what? Maybe it's just the way it gets tangled up. Yeah, that'll probably do it. I don't know.
Considering that his tomahawk is essentially glued into him, it's gonna keep it in there, jam it up.
There you go. All right, he down. Flame Man gone. I'm just gonna take care of Yamato Man now, because you know what? I just want him done. I had a brain fart there. Alright. At least I have claimed my revenge. Back for more Centaur? Prepare to get crushed, buddy. And he starts off with a teleport. He was nice enough the first time around, but now he's just holding nothing barred. Let's not get flashed, though. That would at least be nice. There we go. That's like it.
You almost got flashed there.
Back to Nightman. More spear time. Spears for Fears. Their latest cover album out now. Out of here. Actually, hang on a second. Okay, yeah, no, I just had to think of something. Alright, Blizzard attack. Just a little bit more. Got him with the back shot. There we go. Swag. Which only leaves Blizzard Man left, and then at that point we should be good. And then after that, it will be a very short stage leading up to Dr. Wily himself, which will, of course, grace us with what is probably my favorite of the final boss themes in classic Mega Man history. So let's get ourselves ready for that. Well, then we also got a returning mid-boss, interestingly enough. So, you know those Met dispensers from Tomahawk Man stage? Yeah, Wily decided to install one in his own chamber. Interesting. Very interesting. I do like the little detail, though, where you go out of the teleporter room, and starting this level, you're coming out of the teleporter, which is really cool. But yeah, Met dispenser, it's a little high up there, but nothing we can't handle. It's funny, too, that the Met it dispenses instantly gets destroyed, like, the moment that you take care of the dispenser itself. Guess it was sort of a self-destruct mentality, if you will. But alright, coming up to Wily Capsule. Or Wily Machine, rather. Cool, if you could please.
Alright, so, well, if he doesn't miss any of his Tomahawk shots here, he should be able to have enough to take down the machine. If not, we got a good backup in Nightman's weapon. So each shot takes 6, 4, 5, one more. He's gonna be one short.
Time will be on the final hit of this phase, by the way. So I did miss a shot, unfortunately, but that's okay. Alright, consuming. Let's get ready on time, though. Ooh, a little too high.
Just out of reach.
And
oh, well.
one more time. Woo! Very unfortunate within the later half here. Admittedly, my fault on those mistakes, but finished run is a finished run. I'll definitely take it for what it is. All right, and with that, Wily finally goes to jail. Let's go. Oh, wait, there's a Mega Man 7. Darn it. Well, it is what it is. Let's just get plugins. Let's just get our plugs out of the way right now. So, Bull, thank you for joining me for commentary. Where can these wonderful people find you?
Cyber Bull 9, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, not Facebook, but those spots. I'm actually doing X runs tonight, so come to me after this.
Heck yeah. Good luck on those, my dude. And as for me, I'm TempestMask1000 here on Twitch, YouTube, and you can also find my Twitter at @It'sTempestSteve, where I do try to post streaming updates. And, you know, I don't have a static streaming schedule going, but, you know, that's where I usually put up stuff when I have the intent to do something. Which, I'm probably going to do one tonight as well, but, you know, we shall see. In the meantime, though, this was Mega Man 6. Great game. Definitely check it out if you got the chance, especially with access to stuff like the Legacy collections and all that good jazz. So, yeah, no, this is a really nice game. I very much appreciate it. It's been with me nearly since the beginning of when I started speedrunning, and it's always got a special place in my heart for that. So, shout out to the community members. If you want to join the Classic Mega Community Discord, we do have a link that you can find on the Mega Man RTA Leaderboard's website, where you can also find the links to the other Mega communities as well. And yeah, that's basically it for me. Thanks, FDLG, for having me again, and sorry for the dumb mistakes I made in this run, but hey, here's hoping that you know, the rest of the event goes well, and let's keep donating, because Pause for Gaming, great organization. We got some animals to save, y'all, so let's get to it. And with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Ciao, Michi.
Thank you very much, Tempest Mask, and thank you, Siberian. A very entertaining run. I'm sure all of our viewers will agree. Don't go anywhere, folks, because coming up after this short intermission, we have got Sonic the Hedgehog. See you all in a few.